All right, so this is the guided practice for 2-2, estimating whole numbers. Estimating addition and subtraction of. All right, so problem number 1, and number it number 1 because this is your guided practice. Okay? We're going to start pretty simple with 563 plus 375. And the directions are telling us to estimate each sum or difference. So the first thing I should be thinking when I see that word estimate is what?
Round.
I'm going to round. Okay? So, do I want to round to the nearest, well, I'm sorry, we're going to round to the nearest 100. So that means we're already knowing that we're going to end in what?
Zero.
Yes, zeros. Okay? So rounding to the nearest 100, I'm going to underline the digit in the hundreds place, and I'm going to circle the digit in the tens place. You shouldn't be that far back. It is the page we just glued into your journal. And he keeps going back. Page 21. Start writing here. Okay, so what is that 6 telling us to do with our 5? Raise your hand. Candace. Bump it up. So what are we going to bump it up to, Kennedy? If I'm bumping up a 5, what am I bumping it up to? A 6. William, what am I going to do with the 3?
You're gonna bump it up.
Bump it up to what?
A 6.
Let's stop guessing and really think about it. We've been rounding since 2nd grade, guys. 5 or more, raise the score. How much do you bump it up?
1.
1 more, right? Serenity.
And it would be 4.
It would be a 4. And we already placed the zeros where they needed to be, so that was all we had to worry about, right?
Yes.
So if we take the number that just got rounded, 6 plus 4 gives me what? 10.
10.
What do I do with these 2 zeros?
Nothing. On the back of that one. Yeah.
You add them to the back.
10. So it's 1,000.
So our estimated sum is 1,000. Okay?
So you're technically just you're rounding, but then it switches to an estimate.
Estimate is because we rounded.
Yeah.
That's how come it's an estimate. We didn't take the exact numbers and add them. We rounded those numbers and then added them. Okay? Example number 2. Example number 2 is 288 minus 171 and we're going to round this one to the nearest 10. So I need a digit here, and these are going to be zeros. Okay? So if I'm rounding the digit in the tens place, I'm underlining that digit and circling the digit to its right, which is in the ones place. Thumbs up when you have all that written down. Thumbs up when you have it all written down. I don't want you solving it. I just want you getting the equation itself written down. Okay, Brian, if we're rounding to the nearest 10, what does this 8 tell us to do with this 8? No, are we bumping it up or are we letting it rest?
Letting it rest.
Really? 5 or more, raise the score. 4 or less, let it rest. So what are we going to do to it? We're going to bump it up. Okay? So the number in front of that digit stays the same. So that 2 remains the same. But if we're bumping up the 8, what are we changing it to? Jersey. If we're bumping up the 8, what are we changing it to? 9. Okay, Blaine, what is the 1 telling us to do to the 7?
Let it rest.
Let it rest. So the 1 is going to remain the same. The 7 is going to remain the same.
107.
But everything that follows it is going to be a 0. Okay? Sir, if the shouting continues, you're going to walk for your entire recess. Okay, now we can go ahead and subtract because that is what this problem is asking us to do. Well, we know that 0 and 0 still give us 0. If we start at 7 and count up to 9, what's the difference?
The difference
Is 2. If we start at 1 and count up to 2, what's the difference? 1. So our estimated result is 120 because we rounded the first or the 2 digits before we subtracted. So we're not going to round our answer again. You only round once, and that's at the very beginning.
So the answer to the 280 minus 171 is around 120.
It's approximately 120, yes. Okay? Okay, the next one is your challenge. You're going to estimate the sum. Estimate the sum of 586 plus 278. So you're going to show me the rounding. Let's round to the nearest 100. Let's round to the nearest 100. Round to the nearest 100. Okay, why are you having a blank here? If this is going to bump up to a 6, don't you need another 0? Yeah. Okay, so draw your arrows. You know you're rounding to the nearest 100. So you can put your 2 zeros in at the back end, right, for each one. And you have a blank at the front because you have to decide what to do with it. Underline the number being rounded. Circle the one to the right of it. Well, the number is 278. I don't know where the 37 came from. Okay, well let's just get with us right now. You've literally sat over here and done nothing, so I can't wait on you when you are choosing to do nothing.
I was just doing
Okay, we're rounding to the nearest 100, not the nearest 10. Come on. So I would definitely, you know that the only number that's going to change is the number in the hundreds place, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So I would definitely be putting a blank there. And then filling in your two back end zeros. You need to go sit up there with Miss Debbie. Where's your formula? Okay, go ahead and add it. Okay. Go ahead and add it. You gotta find the sum. Go ahead and follow through with the addition. Okay, so underline this digit. This is the one we're looking at to change, right? This digit's going to determine it, so we circle it. So 5 or more raises 4, 4 or less let it rest, changes that to a what? Are we bumping it up or are we letting it rest? Okay, so when we add one more to that, what does the digit become? This is a 5. Add one more. Yeah. Okay. Underline the 2. Circle the 1. What is the 1 telling us to do? Circle the 1. Or 7, whatever number that is. I can't tell. Yeah, it should be a 7. Okay, so bump it up or let it rest? So we're going to add one more. Perfect. Now put your plus sign in. And that becomes perfect. Okay, so, I mean, come on, this is where you were when I was here the last time. Let's get a decision made and what goes there. That's a 2? Okay, let's make it look like
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because I changed that to 3.
all together on 3. 1, 2, 3, 900. Very good. All right, guys, listen up. For math journal on your playlist, you're going to put today's date, which is 10/14. Sorry, 10/15. For those of you that didn't quite get it finished, rounded to the nearest 100. 8 told us to bump up the 5 to a 6. 7 told us to bump up the 2 to a 3. And 6 plus 3 is 900. So we'll have one more challenge problem to do tomorrow. And that'll be